In the very beginning, God made the world. He filled it with tall trees, sparkling rivers, colourful flowers, and all kinds of amazing animals, soft bunnies, big elephants, and playful dolphins. Then God made the first two people, Adam and Eve. He placed them in a beautiful garden called Eden, where everything was perfect. There was no sickness, no sadness, and no pain, only joy. Adam and Eve could walk and talk with God every day. He gave them everything they needed and asked them to take care of the garden. They were safe, happy, and free to enjoy God's wonderful world. But something happened that changed everything. In the middle of the garden, there was the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam and Eve, "You can eat from any tree, but do not eat from this one. If you do, you will die." One day, a sneaky serpent slithered up to Eve. It whispered, "Did God really say you can't eat this fruit? It won't hurt you. It will make you just like God." Eve looked at the fruit. It looked yummy. She started to wonder, what if the snake is right? So she took a bite. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. As soon as they did, everything changed. They suddenly felt scared and ashamed. They knew they had done something wrong. Sin had entered the world. The perfect place was no longer perfect. As soon as they ate the fruit, Adam and Eve realized something was different. They felt shame for the first time and tried to cover themselves. When they heard God walking in the garden, they hid among the trees. "Adam, where are you?" God called. Slowly, Adam and Eve came out, their heads hanging low. "We were afraid," Adam admitted. God knew what they had done. Because of their disobedience, sin had entered the world, and with it came pain, suffering, and separation from God. "You can no longer stay in the garden," God told them. "Life will now be difficult, but I will not leave you." But even in their sadness, God had not abandoned them. He had a plan to bring hope. Though sin had broken the world, God's love remained. As Adam and Eve left Eden, God gave them a promise. One day, He would send someone who would defeat sin and restore what had been lost. God spoke of a Saviour, one who would crush the serpent's head and bring life back to the world. This was not the end of the story. It was only the beginning of God's great rescue plan. Many years later, that promise would be fulfilled through Jesus Christ, the one who would bring hope, healing, and salvation. Even though Adam and Eve had to leave the garden, they carried with them the hope of God's unfailing love, a promise that would one day change everything.